Hey, what's up? Dilio in the daytime coming to you once again. This video is going to be about the Native Instruments Jam. Full disclosure, number one, I have not used it, I haven't had my hands on it, so you feel like this disqualifies me from talking about this video, please click the stop on the video and watch something else. Two, if you don't like it that I vlog, please go ahead and stop the video right now. Don't want to waste your time. Still here? Okay, let's talk. Alright, Native Instruments Jam. I saw the debut of the video this morning. I saw it on a few social media groups on Facebook. Saw it on Instagram, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me take a look at this. And, you know, I guess without trying to be so quick to write it off and to say I don't like it and stuff like that, you know, I had to really think about this. I thought to myself, okay, that somebody got in a meeting somewhere, that, you know, the offices are in Germany, they had a meeting, they sat around the table and they said, all right, guys, what's the next move here? And someone said, well, you know, Ableton Pushes has been getting a lot of ground. We want to try to see if we can capture some of that market. And, you know, and so we're going to go after that. And that's what it appears to me. And, you know, I can't claim that I know what's going on. I do think that somebody probably worked really hard on this. And there are probably a lot of people who had direct input on this, and they came out with what we see now, which is the Native Instruments Machine Jam. I don't believe it has sampling functionality, but it has some features built into it that are not in Machine. And, you know, and like I said, this may be a victory for somebody. Remember, I talked about celebrating other people's, or celebrating the victories of other people. And there may have been somebody out there looking for something just what they put out, and they will totally enjoy it and rock out with it and have fun with it. And that's great. I'm not disappointed by that. However, you know, I think that some other things should be a priority. You know, again, you know, I'm just Mr. Make Beats and sing a little bit and the guy on YouTube. I'm not the guy in the office over there being chauffeured from the airport to Native Instruments headquarters, going to the meeting, being booked in there and calling shots. That's not me. So yeah, Mr. Dilio T2K is just the guy on the outside looking in. And I think, you know, I think that the people at Native Instruments are happy with what they're doing. Obviously, they believe in what they're doing, and, you know, despite maybe opposing opinions, like a lot of people are typing on the YouTube videos, stuff like that, they feel like they're happy that they're doing what they're doing. However, I wish, and before I even talk about what I wish, if you know of a place where you can voice your opinions and comments to Native Instruments, please let me know. Somewhere where I can truly be heard. At this current state, I'm not convinced that typing in on the forums will get me heard. Actually, pretty much my YouTube channel is probably the place where I know I'll be heard, because I know people will watch this and they'll voice their opinions and comments on it, which I do welcome. I like to read the comments on what you guys, and to hear or to read what you guys think about it. And, you know, they've done a lot of things, Native Instruments. You know, they got the Machine Studio, you know, and y'all, you've seen the story happen and unfold about me getting Machine Studio. And, you know, a lot of times they'll release updates for hardware, and they'll release updates on different things. You know, they'll release an update for the controller keyboards that go with Machine, and the complete controller keyboards, we know about that. So it's probably likely there's going to be a software update for this controller here. I don't believe it's hit the streets yet. I think I saw a street price of it. I'm not too sure, or I probably just didn't read that far after I saw the video, that it could be out now or it could be out later. Please refer to nativeinstruments.com to see the official words about that. And so, in the videos I saw certain functionalities that obviously aren't available for machines. So obviously there has to be a software update for that. My opinion is that I think they're trying to go into Ableton world. What I mean by that is they got something that looks very clearly very similar to the Push, and I think when you're trying to make hardware for music, it's kind of hard not to make it look real different because of the functions. I mean, someone could easily say that the Native Instruments Machine was based on the MPC, which would be totally reasonable because of the fact that if you look at an MPC and you look at a machine, the first thing you're going to notice are the pads. There's 16 pads on the Akai MPC. You're going to see 16 pads on the Native Instruments Machine. However, you know, I really wish, and this is just a wish list, you know, I wish that they would focus more on their software. I believe that there are certain functions, and I'll give you a few examples. Okay, let's try this. Okay, example number one. Native Instruments Machine the flagship program that goes on your computer should have MP3 capabilities. The reason that I believe it should have that is because if you go on the iMachine can import MP3s, and I believe it can export MP3s. It can export into SoundCloud and stuff like that from your iPad. And I'm thinking, why should those things like an iPad have ability to deal with MP3s and pull music directly from your iTunes playlist into Machine to be chopped up on iMachine, yet you cannot do that on your flagship software? I don't understand that. Actually, and another detail that they fixed, and to their credit, they fixed another detail, and that was swing on note repeat. That was on iMachine before it was on the regular full-size Machine software. So that's one of the things I'm concerned about that I wish that they will focus on fixing. I'm quite sure that if they can do it on an iPad, they should be able to do it on a Mac or PC. Another thing is the automation. If they want to go into Ableton World, let's just say for hypothesis reasons that that's what they're trying to do. If they're trying to go into Ableton World, having a clip launch looking kind of thing, I would believe that they should have ways to draw automation. I've often sat on this side of the fence looking over into Ableton World. I was like, wow, that guy can draw an automation. That guy can do this. There's instant time stretching. There's instant changing of the pitch. I can remember a time when Skrillex was doing a demo about some vocal sample that was in question about his track dealing with Justin Bieber, and he showed how quickly that you could take a rough vocal and pitch it up and make it sound exactly like how the song does. And he did that very fast. And yes, you can do that kind of quickly, but it seems more natural for Ableton to do that. And I think if you're going to go into Ableton World and do that, then you should be able to draw an automation. Currently, right now, Native Instruments Machine, the only way to get precision automation into Machine is that you have to actually import a MIDI file with controller information data on there before it even gets to Machine, because you cannot draw a perfect sawtooth line or perfect lingo for, like, say for example, this is, say you got Native Instruments Massive running on your music program and stuff like that. You got a noise filter set up on there. You're trying to use that for risers. Now, if I want to design a riser in Machine, I have to hold down automation and turn the knob slowly till I get it to rise how I want. If you got that side chain pumping, right? Okay. In Ableton, you can draw that line perfectly with a pen tool, and it's going to show up right at the measure the way you want it to. The only way for me to do that is to take the plugin out of Machine, throw it in a DAW like Studio One 3, and draw in my automation that way. I believe that should be a function that should be addressed in Machine first, and they could be doing that. Again, I don't know what's going on. I just know that those are some features that I'd like to see. Another thing is about the chord categories or the chord abilities of the system. Now, in the new Native Instruments Jam, you can hit the fader and change chords. I saw a video about that, and I thought that's great. And it could easy for me to say, why did they put that in there? But not everybody knows how to play chords, and so it's a victory for them to have that kind of tool. So good for them. However, I believe if you really want to talk to someone like me about chords, then allow me to create my own custom chords or create more custom chord combinations that come with it. And that's something in the software that I like to see addressed. And but a lot of times what's come first is, okay, let's make sure this software works with our controllers. Let's make sure this software works first with this new peripheral, and we'll take care of some features that deal with music production directly later on. And again, I don't know what their plan is, and I'm quite sure it's a very business plan. Like I said, this is a victory for somebody. Somebody worked really hard on this, and I want to make sure I recognize that. But at the same time, I do feel that the software should be the number one priority. If you're going to go into Ableton World and create something that echoes Ableton so much, I mean, you have to acknowledge that it echoes the format that Ableton has done, which to me probably is a big compliment to Ableton. With all the features and flexibility that Ableton provides, I would say hit that first on the software tip and then deal with the hardware. But again, they felt like this was needed, and again, this is probably a small victory for somebody or a big victory for somebody. However, if I were to give my opinion about it, I think great. I'm happy for you, Native Instruments, that you're creating products that make you happy and all of that stuff. But at the same time, I hope that you try to focus more on creating the software or upgrading the software and really creating some strong features in that. Give me some automation that I can draw with a pen to and not depend on a knob to draw. Give me some real time time stretching and pitch changing of the samples. Give me that in real time. We got the processing power to do it. Please give me that. Please allow me to customize my own chords, and also allow me to do steps. And that was another thing on the Machine Jam, the step programming. Well, you can kind of get away with that on the 16 pads on the machine controls. I would like to see that too. So those are my thoughts about that. I want to get that out of my way. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your comments, stuff like that. And you know, please voice your opinions before. If you don't like my vlogs, that's fine. It's okay. I appreciate that. Totally understand. If you're just into the remake videos or some other things, that's fine too. Thank you guys so much for your input. I'm about to get back to work. Y'all take care. Peace.